and welcome to this Red Hub webinar. Today, I'm with Andrea Strellatos, and we both are part of the Oracle Business Process Innovation Specialist team. And for today, we have this really cool concept and story that is how to use an event-driven and no-code approach for an end-to-end document lifecycle management and approval process automation using mainly two platforms, Oracle Integration Cloud and Oracle Content Management. So if you want to introduce yourself, Andres.
Thank you, Juan. This is Andrea Strellatos. I'm part of the Business Process Innovation team of specialists together with Juan, and I lead the content management side of things. And I'm here today to show and tell about document lifecycle with process automation and OCM.
I'm Juan Gonzalez, an integration specialist, also part of this business process innovation team. And let's move on to the agenda that we have prepared. So basically, what we have for today is we're going to talk about the value proposition of Oracle Integration Cloud and the different components that we will show in the demo story that we have prepared. And then we're going to see it in action for you to taste what an end-to-end document lifecycle and process automation means. And finally, we are, and Andreas is going to talk about what the value proposition of Oracle Content Management is, specifically for managing the life cycle of a digital asset as a document is. Okay? So let's move on and let's talk about what Oracle Integration Cloud is. So Oracle Integration Cloud is a platform, a ready-to-use platform. It's a PaaS platform, platform as a service, that allows you to connect, extend, and automate end-to-end business processes. So for the purpose of this demo, this is going to be a document approval workflow that we will and we built together with Andreas, and basically using like four main capabilities that we have in Oracle Integration Cloud. So application integration is basically connectors and adapters that we use in order to be able to connect to different, let's say, applications and systems. In this case, the metadata of the document is being stored in Oracle Autonomous Transaction Processing. So we can combine Oracle integration with other Oracle Cloud services as content management and autonomous. Okay, so we have like the metadata of the document, like business data, is stored here in Oracle Autonomous Database, and we use the pre-built or native connector to connect to that database. And also another, and basically the main capability here that we have in Oracle integration, that is process automation. So in the past, it was called business process management, but now we talk more about process digital automation. Okay, and this is basically like workflows that we use in order to be able to manage the different steps of the life cycle from a process workflow point of view, right? And we are also using the Visual App Builder component, and that basically allowed us to create the forms or the forms that an approver or a process owner, a document owner, or even a VP can use in order to be able to approve or reject a document, or even for the process owner to create the document. So you will see how we combine these web application together with content management in order to be able to embed the document lifecycle capability that we have in content management within a web application that we set up with a low-code approach in Visual Builder, right? And finally, I mean, behind scenes, we are using some decision rules that will allow us to determine like the flow that the process workflow is gonna go through, and everything that happens, every document event, like someone edits a document, someone approves a document, rejects a document, all those events are being streamed into a Kafka topic. So we are also combining all these Oracle Cloud services with Oracle Cloud Streaming. That is our Kafka-based service. And basically, that's why this solution is an event-driven solution, okay, to manage this document lifecycle. Okay? And also, both services and all the services that you see here are, let's say, supported by an identity and access management platform that we can use in order to be able to control the roles within a process workflow, like who can approve or reject a document, who can create a document, who can just view a document, and specifically like permissions or roles, specifically for documents. We also manage that using identity groups in Oracle Content Management to manage who can view, download, or even create or edit a document. Okay, so let's move on and let's see this demo in action. Okay, so the first thing I will share with you is what the process workflow looks like. Okay, so basically what we have here is a process workflow. So we have a process owner that is going to raise a document change request, and the first task is prepare that document or create that document. Then we're going to have like a review step on the process. So if we open that first task to create and prepare the document, here we're not using the pre-built form from Oracle Process. We are using an external form that we develop here in Visual Builder. So what you are seeing is the document form or the web application that we built for the different tasks or human tasks. And we also have a step for the review of the document. This is going to be in parallel. So multiple approvers of the document are going to be able to approve or reject the document based on the draft that the process owner builds or creates. And finally, we are going to have like an approval document step from a VP who is going to check that finally. And this VP is going to have only viewer roles for the document, okay? Another thing is that in order to determine if the process owner needs to fix or amend the document, the approvers, we're going to determine through a decision rule here in Oracle Integration Cloud. So if at least one of the approvers rejected the document, then the process will go back to the first step, right? And the last step is just for a quality and assurance representative to edit that document and submit and finish the process, right? So one of the things also that I mentioned before is that we are using an external form. So how do we embed the management of the document within these Visual Builder forms? So what we basically did is leveraging a capability that we have here to pass the parameters. In this case, we're passing the process ID to this external form or to this web application. So then the web application can get the ID of the folder that Oracle Process Automation automatically generates for this process instance in Oracle Content Management. So once we have the ID of this document folder, then we can set like the URL of the embedded part of the management of the document from Oracle Content Management. So the options that you see there is options that we have in Oracle Content Management. So I will pass to Andreas and correct me if I'm wrong, Andreas, but so we have the possibility to control not only who can view or edit or manage a document, but also we can play with the options that a user can have on this document, right?
Yes, because we're using what you have, what we're showing here is basically our embed UI capability. So anything that we want to reuse at an external application like a VBCS form, we can choose the folders or the asset repository that, like this one here, that we want to generate, and then we can go and see live what we can enable or disable on this UI that we see here. So if you go into the developer setup, this is the configurator for our embeddable UI component, a JavaScript API, which has a declarative interface, which is very helpful for low-code developers. So here in this folder structure, we can see that we have options for every little bit of the UI that we're interested in. So if you go, for example, on the actions, we can see that if we go into a folder and we find a document, we can see that for this document, we've enabled so far the O365 integration. So if you click on that, you can see that you can actually view it live on the UI.
Okay, that's nice.
So you can enable, view, you can disable.
Right? They don't have to pay. I mean, customers don't have to pay an additional,
it's like, part of Oracle Content Management.
Okay.
It's part of the same subscription.
Okay, great.
That helps you though when you were creating your process workflows and your visual builder forms, instead of reinventing the wheel, to actually reuse in a declarative way some code, because at the end of the day, this is going to generate a payload,
right, which
you can reuse elsewhere.
Right. So if I click here, so let's suppose that for that specific human task in the process, the user wants to also edit the document in O365. So it's as simple as checking here, right? And then we can preview, right, what the owner, or let's say the user can do with the document. So in this case, if we check O365 in the edit option, then that user is gonna see this in the embedded UI, right?
Yep, and you can basically edit it online.
Okay, cool. So so we also have this the capability to automatically generate the code, right? That we will need to use in the process form that I was showing before, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's as easy as, let's say, playing with this embed UI preview capability, right?
Yeah, and the general sense here is the fact that you have a tool to robustly and quickly integrate parts of the repositories of content management UIs into other applications, and the principle is virtually the same for every other application. Here we had a VBCS form or a process form, and we did what we had to do, but we use this tool here.
Okay, great. And another thing that we haven't talked about is that we can control like the members of the folder, right? In this case, of the process instance folder, right?
Yeah, because we have role-based access control and permissions in Oracle Content Management, and it can go as granular as down to the actual files. But here we have folders, and in these folders, because of our use case, we have two different types of users. One of them is a manager, which means they can do anything they want to do in this folder. Okay. And the other user on the right is a downloader only, which means they cannot contribute, they can view and download. Okay.
In this case, this user is going to be performing the role of a VP. So the VP cannot edit or just download or view the document in O365, right?
Exactly. So the VP can just see, and the others can contribute and edit and so on.
Okay, great. So okay, yeah. So we just wanted to explain what this embedded UI capability that we have in Oracle Content Management allows us to be able to manage the life cycle of the document within the process forms, right? So so I think we are ready to show this question, right? Oh, I'm missing something.
How we set up the integration with Integration Cloud Pro.
Yeah, you're right. So I think here.
Yeah, the other thing we can say here is the fact that we're using Oracle Integration Cloud Process, we're using Oracle Content Management, and the integration between the two is out of the box in the way that we enable it inside OCM and integration. We just need a service instance URL, a technical user with a password, and a client ID encrypted for access to process. And that's it. Basically, we can start reusing as many workflows as we want. Designed for us here.
Right. Actually, if I recall well, here even I mean for the purpose of this demo, the process starts with a form, right? But
with a form, yes.
We want to trigger a process workflow when someone uploads or checking a document here, right? So I think
absolutely feasible. And also you can set it up if you want to create it completely automatically. So every time someone drops something in a folder, you can also kick off a process.
Right.
That's also possible.
So it's as simple as this, right? Like
initiate process on document arrival.
Right, and then it will let's say allow me to choose which version of the process instance of the process definition it will trigger, right?
Yeah, because you may have more than one process set up in your integration cloud. So yeah, that's how it would work. Yeah.
So it will be something like this, right? At the moment, I don't have any process that starts with the document, but when a document arrives. But I mean, if you have enabled a document initiated process, you should see, right, the different.
Yep, and you choose it, and then every time someone drops something in that folder structure, workflows start popping up. They're kicking off the processes.
That's really cool.
That's a nice idea for your next demo, anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we can move forward to the demo, right?
Yep.
So what you guys are gonna see in a couple of seconds. Let me go to my Oracle process instance.
So what we showed is basically what we used to create this demo.
Exactly. So what you can see there is so the user, the process owner, is gonna create a new process. So in this case, it selects like a group, it's a field in the form. And this is a process to manage the approval of, let's say, process documentation. Documents which basically talks about the procedure for licensing or procedure for different business operations. So the person is gonna submit, right, or initiate that process. So we can in a visual way, we can see what the process looks like. So in this case, I'm the process owner, right? So you can see, like the different fields that came from the initial form. So I can set up, let's say, a name for the document, the division this document workflow is gonna be assigned to, a title for the document as a metadata. This is just the metadata of the document. The business justification, this is just a new procedure that needs to be approved by different stakeholders, right? I can add different stakeholders. So this is really cool because I can decide which users from a pool of, let's say, stakeholders should review the document and approve or reject the document. And also I can choose the VP who is gonna approve this. So here is the part of the embedded UI. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So now here we see the embed UI folder structure. There's nothing in there yet, but you are going to bring in a document as we saw here. Okay.
And those are the options that we enable, right, in the embedded UI. Right?
So what you show here is the fact that if you have Office 365 for your organization, just plug it into Oracle Content Management, basically.
Right.
And you can use it as we see here.
Right. So maybe you are saving a lot of time. Instead of, let's say, reinventing the wheel, you just have this capability and add-on capability, right? This is a plugin, basically, an option that you enable, right?
Yes, it is. It's all our desktop and office integrations that we have, and the fact is that it's important what you said. You don't reinvent the wheel. You can reuse all these things in a very nice fashion, like you're showing here.
Right. So now that the person uploads, the process owner uploads the document, it submits that task. So as I was mentioning before, you can visually review the status of the process. So in this case, the process owner submits that task, and now the process is staged in the review document step. So we have two reviewers, right? So here I'm logging as the OIC2, let's say, user that we have. This is the manager, right? That can do anything with the document, right, Andreas? So that person can edit, can view, can lock the document, right?
Yeah, they lock documents usually so that not many people go in and try and make the same changes. So there is a serial versioning of the document. Mm-hmm. They can contribute, they can download, they can view. They have all access to the folder, basically.
Right. So what you're seeing here is just the metadata that the process owner filled out. And here is the part where that person is going to lock the document. As we have the review document step is in parallel, right? So to avoid that someone overwrites what the other person is doing, then we have this capability to lock the document. So in this case, one of the reviewers can play and make the comments and the changes on the document. And then once unlocked, the other approver can take over, right? Over the document.
That's exactly one of the use cases where you would use locking and where you would combine it with parallel processing, basically.
Right. So in this case, the person locks the document and is going to edit the document itself, right?
Yeah, and you're actually editing it online, which means it's all running in the browser, nothing else.
Right. The browser. So the saving to Oracle, right? Status. Yeah.
To OCM, basically, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So here is the other approver, right? So in this case, that person, again, can edit the document, right? So, yeah.
Because
okay.
It's locked.
So that person...
That was a nice example.
Yeah, exactly. So someone else was editing the document, right? OIC2. And
I clicked Juan.
Yeah, Juan, exactly. And so, yeah, I mean, automatically content management, manages that, right? By us. For us, yeah. So this is cool. This is cool because then you cannot override what other user is doing over the document.
Yeah, and then it helps. It makes collaboration easier, because it's not just putting things in folders. You may need to edit. You may need to converse with someone. Yeah.
So let's say that's the illustration of, let's say, the collaboration on a document. It's not only about approving or rejecting. It's also about editing and locking the document and let's say work together on the same document, even at the same, not at the same time, but let's say as part of the same process, right?
Yep.
So in this case, that person, let's say, is gonna reject the document saying like missing details in section 2.2, let's say, and I'm going to reject, right? So I have already rejected this. So if we see the status of the process, then the rule that I showed before detected that one of the stakeholders rejected the document, right? So now we are coming back to the initial prepare the draft of the document step. So as the process owner, I should see this task in my task list again, and I can see, like what the result of the approval was for the different stakeholders. So the first stakeholder approved it, the second one rejected it. So that person, in this case, the process owner, is gonna see and is gonna perform the fix or the amend. So that person can lock the document. He's gonna edit this online, using the add-on that you mentioned, Andreas.
Yep.
And another thing is that we can have conversations, right, on the document as well, right?
Yeah, because collaboration is not just locking, editing, unlocking. You need to make annotations maybe on a document. You need to make aware your team that please look at this section of the contract, right, for example, or the change request document. And there is side by side with the folders, there is a conversation tool, which it's basically like a messenger where you talk with only the members of your team. Right. It's not an open conversation to anyone.
Right. So in this case, the person, the only remaining step for review is, let's say, for the reviewer to check if his comments or her comments were, properly included on the document. So I'm gonna log. This is my OIC2 user, so I'm the reviewer in this case. So I will see that task on my task list, and I can. What we have in the right is the visual builder, the web app that we build using our low-code builder, visual builder within OIC. So in this case, the person can see even the comments, right? That the reviewer that the process owner did, and even in this case, I'm adding another section as a reviewer for the document, because I'm also part of the preparation of the document. And in this case, I'm gonna approve, like everything is good, all good. So I'm gonna approve. So if all the stakeholders approve the document, then we should go to the next step, that is the VP approval step, right? So Andreas, in this case, the VP, we set up this user. This is the OIC3 user, and he only, he or she has the role of a downloader, right?
Yeah, downloading and viewing, and that's all.
Exactly. Okay.
Because that's what they would do anyway. They wouldn't really. They would just have a last look at the change request document.
Exactly. So here I have, let's say, as a VP, I'm logged in as the OIC3 user. So we can see that, and we can see like the metadata of the document, and then I can, let's say, only view. So I don't have neither the lock option nor the edit option, right?
Because but it can give you an informed decision, an informed view of, okay, I can now approve it, because all I want to do is just have a look at it, and I shouldn't be fiddling with it or editing it. And that has been taken care of while you set up the process.
So this basically maintains a consistency between the different process steps and the document lifecycle, right?
Exactly. It's like one is part of the other, really. They go together.
Yeah, true. In the end, it's the same, right?
Yeah.
It's transparent to the customer. Yeah. So basically here, the VP rejected the document. So we have again, we pass these rejections or approvals through a decision rule. So in this case, as the VP rejected the document, so we have to go back to the process owner. So the process owner needs to amend and make the proper fixes on the document. In this case, it was rejected.
Missing section 6.
Exactly.
And this is a document, a change request document, right? So basically someone within the organization asks for something, but because there are legal obligations, organizational structures, and so on, we have to take it through this approval process.
Yeah, exactly. So here I'm just adding that section, that missing section that the VP was made on his comments, and we are seeing here basically that this is the inline, right? Online editor in O365. So you can do whatever you want, like insert tables, like, insert pictures like this using the previewer of O365. So in the end, this is very, let's say, user friendly, right? For someone who belongs to these document approval hooks, right?
Yeah, and it makes sense because you can author however you want to author using O365.
Right.
What happens after that is the juice of the whole demo here, because we do things on the documents, but we actually take them through process. You have decision rules, process forms, and so on. So yeah, pretty seamless.
What I have done is just to made the fixes, and then the VP is gonna review those fixes again, right?
Exactly.
So basically, I'm gonna go to my OIC3 user.
Yep.
So I will come back to Firefox. In this case, I'm OIC3. I'm gonna refresh my task list. There we go. VP approval of document. Process number 410085. You can see the metadata. In the end, is the same. Is we maintain consistency on the UI, but the only thing that changes is just the permissions that we have over the document, right?
Exactly, and the fact that it's consistent, it has a short learning curve for an end user. Okay.
Yeah, true. So here, as a VP, I'm just checking that the process owner included the missing parts, so everything is all good. So that person, the VP, is gonna approve the document, and then we can come back to process to the process workflow, and we can see what the status is. So now the process moved to the last step, that is submit the approved document change request and the document and the draft of the document to a quality and assurance sales rep, right? So then I can, in this case, this is not assigned directly to a user. It's assigned to a bunch or a set or a group of users, because we have different, let's say, stakeholders in that quality and assurance area. So that's another way, of assigning roles to a task. It can be assigned to a specific user, as we showed before, that in the visual builder form, the process owner was choosing who should review this. But in this case, this is just like anyone who has the quality and assurance role within the process workflow can make these or operate on this task, right? So basically, I just submitted the approved DCR. This is just like pass-through of the document. Also, that person has only, like a viewer or downloader role in Oracle Content Management. And that's it. I mean, the process just
end-to-end.
End-to-end, exactly. So, I mean, really easy, right? Really transparent to the customer, right?
This is it's very important to realize that we set up existing cloud services that we had in our hands, process, integration, VB in one side, content management on the other side, and we did it in a low-code approach. There was minimal intervention when you had to write some code, and I think it's a nice time now to actually. We saw Integration Cloud. We saw how you created processes, the BPMN notation, the Process Explorer, everything. Let's look a little bit about, we saw how we set everything up in Oracle Content Management and Process Cloud, but we just touched a nice use case, which is Business Process Management and Document Lifecycle Management. But let me just spend a few minutes on just talking a little bit about what OCM can actually do in that area, right?
Perfect. Go ahead.
So
you can share your screen.
Okay. Yep.
There we go.
So it's important to realize that OCM is our one-stop shop for dealing with document lifecycle management. Mm-hmm. And we showed document collaboration, we showed process management, and so on. But as you can see here, this is something that deals from from the minute you create documents or from the minute you capture documents, maybe from paper, maybe you digitize them, maybe you bring things which are digitized and are then kicking off a workflow like what Juan has designed. It is a managed cloud service running on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure like Integration Cloud, which means it has zero operational cost and it leverages everything underneath OCI. And we provide a lot of on-the-glass integrations, whether it's applications like applications from Oracle or other third-party applications, or tools like productivity tools like Office 365, desktop, and so on. We cover the entire life cycle and we integrate with everything. And, you know, it's just 1 second to add here that we're dealing with enterprise content management and document management, which is that area here. But this is a unified hub that basically deals with all content needs across things like digital asset management, digital experience platform, and so on. So some of the key content services platform capabilities that we used for the demo and for basically any use case that has to deal with process management and document management is, of course, state-of-the-art document collaboration capabilities. So whether you're going to sync your desktop with Oracle Content Management, where you're going to use Office 365 integration, secure document sharing, role-based access control, members permissions, all these kind of things, or even in a better extension for organizations, whether you convert your documents and things that you collaborate with into business assets, you can do it with Oracle Content Management. So you could have everything in document folders and then promote them into universal asset hubs like business asset repositories. It could be change request document repositories or contracts or legal documents. And, you know, we capture documents as well. We don't just create them. So, you know, you could use document capture, which is part of Oracle Content Management, which is dealing with optical character recognition, indexing of metadata, searchable PDFs, and so on. And, you know, we both work in a team where we use all the new tools. And we see also that our product management is embedding these new tools as well. So when it comes to intelligent metadata extraction and capturing, we are already in parity with using our AI services capabilities. One of these things is OCI Document Understanding, which we're using inside OCM for classification of documents, and we're going to keep enriching this all the time. But guess what? We also use a workflow engine, a business process management engine like Process Cloud, which is part of Oracle Integration Cloud. And what we showed you was not, it was plug and play, because we basically registered the Integration Cloud process and we reused workflows from that Integration Cloud instance into our use case. And we integrated content and folders into your forms that you created, Juan, right? So what did we use for that? We used the Embed UI capability, which is our JavaScript API inline HTML iframe, basically, where we configured what we wanted to see in the rendering inside the VBCS form, and we reused this. And I just want to mention here the fact that it's an API first platform. We listen to REST world, or we basically have widgets, or we have integrations with all other UIs. Let's not just call them applications, right? Let's just call them UIs. If your user interface needs to have content management capabilities, don't reinvent the wheel. Just reuse Oracle Content Management. And that's about it from my side.
That was great. That was great, Andrea. So I think we don't have questions. I'm checking here. So feel free to post your questions. You can reach out to Andreas or I. We're available for you for any question you might have. And just to thank you for joining this webinar. And thank you, Andreas, for your time here.
Thanks for bringing me over. Thanks for working together. It's always a pleasure, and looking forward to sharing more good stuff with our customers.
Okay. Cheers, guys.